Making a Murderer.
Netflix.
And chill. Hey, we're talking Scream, Season 2. Yes. We enjoyed Season 1.
Yeah.
It ended on an unsuspecting and like killer reveal, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. But we will try and keep this as spoiler free as possible.
I have such a hard time with that.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. So if you haven't seen Season 1 of Scream, the television series, stop now. I won't feel bad. You can press stop on the video and go watch it. We do recommend you check it out. But this time we're talking about Season 2, which is a direct continuation. Something like 3 months later, 4 months later, roughly.
I don't remember exactly.
But essentially, everybody from Season 1 who made it through Season 1 comes back into Season 2.
Yep. And some new characters.
And there's new characters as well. Most everybody has stayed in town except for the main character of Emma, who apparently went off to a psych ward. Nobody else needed it, but she did, so they sent her away. She didn't get counseling in town. They literally sent her away.
Well, I can kind of understand that. Maybe it was a little too traumatic for her, and she didn't want to
Yeah,
be
but
in
most
the
people
area.
but her mom didn't even go with her.
No, maybe she just needed to leave. I don't fault her for that.
No, I think it's just written in there because it plays part of the story. Because Season 2 is all about, red herrings. We already know how Season 1 went down. We know all our characters. Who's going to be the killer now is essentially always the question du jour. Is it going to be characters from Season 1? Is it going to be one of the new characters? Who is it? And often it is pointed towards old characters like Emma.
Yeah.
Because she was in a psych ward. Mm-hmm. So she's going crazy. That is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Partly because it is pointing towards her as the killer, and partly because you want to make it so that everybody thinks she's crazy and nobody believes her. I get it. It serves two purposes. I think it's a little bit lazy in terms of writing, but whatever. That's the way they wanted to go. That's the way they went. So, unfortunately, your nemesis from Season 1 isn't dead.
No.
And she's in Season 2.
Yeah. And that was okay.
Yes, you eventually... It wasn't okay at first.
No, at first she still bugged me.
Still bugs you, but due to traumas and such happening in the Season 2...
I kind of warmed up to her a little bit.
You felt
bad.
sorry. Felt bad for her. So it's essentially just like the first season in a sense. Mm-hmm. People are dying. I didn't think the kills were anything spectacular this time.
No, because the first season, whoa.
Yeah, it had some really good kills.
Oh my god. Yeah.
This one was just people dying, essentially.
Yeah, they didn't really show much.
No, and even if they did, it was just like stabby, stabby, stabby. Mm-hmm. That was it, right? Yeah. That part was a little disappointing. I was hoping for more. No, don't get me wrong. There is some gore. There is some blood that gets, sprayed everywhere. Dead bodies, body parts, that kind of stuff. It is part and parcel with the series, but yeah. No, if you're looking for the kills like you saw in Season 1, don't expect that in Season 2. It's just not there. It's mostly stabbing, essentially. Mm-hmm. A lot of knife work. So we get new characters this time. So who do we get new? We get yes, character named Zoe Vaughn.
I didn't
she essentially is introduced to be. She's almost a token black person, right? Like, is she the only black person in the series?
I think so.
I think she
Yeah,
is.
I
She
think
is.
so.
She is. Yeah, but the nice thing about it is, she ends up being the love interest of Noah.
I didn't like that.
So, yeah, she's put in there to be the love interest of Noah. But like all characters, she's a new character. It does hint that perhaps she is the killer.
Yeah, there was some things going on
There's
there.
lots of
and I was
stuff
like,
going on there where you're like, maybe it is this Zoe character. Who else do we have that comes up? We've got, oh yes, Gustavo and Sheriff Miguel Acosta.
Yeah.
So, here's one of the spoilers, and if you haven't seen season 1, Sheriff dies. So he gets killed in the season 1. So they need a new sheriff. Enter this Miguel Acosta, played by Anthony Revivar?
I can't even know.
I don't know. But you might recognize him. He's done a lot of bit parts, but if you ever watched Third Watch, the television series, he was a main character through, all 150 some odd episodes of the show.
Didn't watch it.
I love that. It was a great show. It's how you have shows about the police,
Yes.
and then you have shows about doctors,
Yes.
and then you have shows about fire departments.
This is mixed.
This was all of the things.
I probably would have liked it.
It was so it was all you had main characters, and some of the the paramedics would date the police,
Well,
and just because you have to have that drama. So I really enjoyed it, and of course 9/11 and all that kind of stuff all gets, I believe, played into the show as well. So because it's in New York, so yeah, I really enjoyed the show. So immediately when I saw it, I was like, I know who that is.
Not me.
And he's playing a cop. I think it was a firefighter in the Third Watch. I don't know. It's been so long since I watched it. But anyways, he's in it, and he takes over as the sheriff. But he has ties
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
to the past,
Yeah.
the area. He's from Murderville, as they like to call it now. But he also has a son, and his son's got some problems.
Clearly, yes. And why he didn't realize this before now? I don't know. Or maybe he did.
I think he did, and he was part of moving there was to trying to get his son away from his past. I don't know.
but moving not gonna solve that kind of stuff.
No. So yeah, he's definitely got some issues, and of course these issues and the kind of things that he does is pointing towards him as being a possible killer, because everybody in this season seems to be a possible killer.
Yes.
Um,
Which I kind of liked.
Emma, like we said, about the always been there.
Yep.
Audrey.
Yes.
Audrey is a big one that they're constantly, because of season 1, you automatically start going, okay, it's most likely going to be her. There's stuff that happens in season 2 that, again, points directly to her. She could be the killer. Honestly, you don't know who it is until you get to the final episode. You could guess.
No, and that's what I would do. I'd be like, oh, who do you think it is now?
Right? And each episode is almost geared towards pointing you towards a different person.
Yeah.
Who else was new? Kristen Lang is introduced. An odd character to introduce to the series.
Yeah.
She's, I guess, the guidance counselor at the school? Is that what her...
Well, no, because I think she taught the class too, so maybe she taught psychology class or something.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
She was teaching something, but maybe she did guidance
also. Well, because she had an office, right?
Yeah.
So...
But she did
I
have
guess,
a class.
yeah, I guess maybe she's a teacher/guidance counselor who is essentially...
Way too involved.
Yeah, way too involved, knows way too much, and because of that, could be the killer.
I kind of really wanted her to be the killer because I don't like her. Well, I didn't like a bunch of people, but yeah. I didn't like her. She could be. I didn't say she's not.
Yeah, and that's played by somebody called Austin Highsmith, who looked familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah, she did look familiar, but I don't know from what. Maybe she just has that look about her. That's why. That would be why. Yes.
Dolphin Tail.
Yes.
Dolphin Tail.
Yes, that's exactly why. She was in the pool. She was one of the trainers. That's what she was. Yes, because I've seen that movie way
But I
too many
haven't
times.
seen that movie, so why did she look familiar to me?
What, Dolphin Tail too?
Why did she look familiar? Oh, I have seen Gangster Squad.
Or maybe that's why, because I
Maybe
have not
that's
seen
why.
that, so...
Yeah, so she's in both the Dolphin Tales. And she's been on, like, an episode here and there of a lot of other stuff. Wow, there is no reason why I should recognize her. Like, no reason.
But it was from...
Which is why you could understand it.
Because
So,
she was in it a lot,
so yeah, I have no reason to recognize her. I've never seen her.
So she's a good actress, because I really liked her in Dolphin Tale, and I didn't like her here. So good for her.
So she played her part well.
She did, because I hated her.
And then I guess finally it would be, yeah, Eli. Now, Eli and his mother are both introduced into this season. His mother is not really there much, which is odd.
Who was she played by? Does it even say?
Eli Hudson. Karina Logue.
Yeah, she was only in 5 of them. Yeah.
5 episodes. So Eli is the cousin. I think
It's
that's what they
supposed
call
to
him.
be Emma's boyfriend's cousin.
You don't remember his name? She yells it how many times?
It's weird. Was that like
Kieran.
Kieran, yeah. Yeah, weird name.
So I guess that's his aunt,
Yeah.
right? And they're introduced because I guess Child Services or something finds out Kieran, because Kieran's dad was the sheriff, finds out that his, was it... Who was the other person who was that his other aunt, or... I don't know, somebody was pretending to, was written down as his legal guardian and living with him.
Oh, yeah.
But she actually wasn't. She just said, I'll vouch for him and say that I'm living with you, but you're obviously old enough, I don't need to live with you. Honestly, I always thought Kieran was like many years older than the rest of the kids anyways, but apparently he wasn't. I don't know. But yeah, so, Child Services finds out, and he's like, oh my god, they're essentially going to make him move to live with her, or go into a foster home is essentially his choices. And then this aunt and cousin show up out of nowhere and just be, essentially, they're taking advantage because they get to live in his house.
Yeah.
And they didn't seem to have a house or anything at that point. So they just sort of move in, and she becomes the legal guardian of him, but then you hardly ever see her, which makes no sense, but whatever. There's no, we'll say it right off the bat, it never points to her as being the killer.
No.
But she could be the killer.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Right?
You don't really see
because in
her
season
much,
1,
so.
nobody pointed to that killer. So could it be Aunt? Whatever her face was? Maybe. But
Anything's possible as long as I shut up.
But one of the characters that is heavily pointed to is the cousin, Eli.
Yes,
and
'cause he's creepy.
he's freaking creepy.
Yes.
He, honestly, I did not like him. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with him, with what he does, the way
His
he acts,
past,
his attitude, everything about him points to him possibly being the killer. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, is there anybody who doesn't get kind of... Jake never gets pointed at.
No. Noah?
Brooke never really gets pointed at.
No, Noah? Does he get pointed at?
A little bit. For that one episode.
Oh, yes.
And yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for that one episode, he is pointed at.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he's never pointed at again. Her mom, never pointed at.
No.
And she takes a pretty big back seat in this season.
Yeah, she does.
Which is disappointing because she was a mainstay in the first season, and in this season she just sort of shows up every once in a while whenever her daughter's in trouble, and it's just like, my daughter, and you're just like, okay. And then there's one episode where they go into like the backstory.
Yeah. And
she plays heavily in that with the sheriff, and the episode is mostly about them. Yeah, so there's a lot of backstory that wasn't in the first season. You get little snippets in here, of the Brennan James and that kind of stuff, and you know that the parents were involved, and that that's going on, and that's all in the first season. Well, this one kind of fleshes that out a little bit more, and you start learning about the backstory of people from the first season, the Brennan James character, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot more of that in this season. And really, it was that one episode was the only one where she was a main character. Outside of that, she just sort of comes in for 5 minutes here and there, and then gone. Which is odd, considering her daughter is in the middle of being hunted by a killer, or possibly the killer, or having a mental breakdown.
See, and this is one of the problems that I had with this was, I get they're like older teenagers and stuff, but I don't care. If there's killing stuff going around, how are they just going around freely on their own? Like, I would not let my kids do that. Like, they'd be in lockdown. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, no.
It's not even just that. It's like, yes, there's a killer going around, but they're directly involved, right? Like, this is the thing. Like, as a parent, yes, I realize teenagers may sneak out, but if that's the case, yeah, this is the thing. If like your kid has snuck out, like the day before or 2 days before because you said you're not allowed to go out, and you find out that they went out, when you tell them, keep them in because, something's bad's going on, you make sure they can't leave again. Yeah. Like, if that means staying up all night, then you stay up all night. Like, somebody's trying to kill them, or at least you think somebody's trying to kill them. Yeah. You don't just go to bed. No.
It's like,
right?
and they just have the it's total freedom. And I'm like, what the hell? Even though you say to them, oh no, this is dangerous, I don't like this, whatever. It's like they're taking a back seat, and it's like, wow, okay, they're doing it.
And I get it for some of the kids. Like, I get Kieran.
Well, yeah, because he's
his dad's dead. Yeah. And like we said, his aunt hardly in the show at all.
Yeah.
So she's obviously not there to be, the mother figure and watch over him. I get it. He has free reign. He always really did have free reign. The sheriff's son, there's a relationship problem between those two, and the sheriff's obviously
locked up myself though.
Well, the sheriff's obviously always working, right? So there's no way to look and put lockdown because there is no mom, there is no other siblings, there's no other family, right? So I get that.
With
Brooke, rich kid, daddy. Essentially, it's always been part of it. Daddy didn't really care. Was essentially
but even with Noah, like you never really hear about his parents, or he may hear about his mother, but you never see.
You never see anything, right? Like,
so it's like what's going on there? Like, and even Audrey, what's going on with her parents?
Audrey, I don't know what's going on with her parents. I don't know what's going on with Noah's parents. Audrey comes across as kind of like a rebellious kid type thing.
Yes.
So I get her to a certain degree. just because of the character. But Noah is straight and narrow, right? Like that's the way his character's played out. That's the way he's portrayed, and yet he's constantly just like he busts out a hospital, man.
Yeah.
Like he just leaves the hospital.
Oh, he just does.
He's in the hospital. So, like, he gets out, no problem. Who else? Are we forgetting anybody?
No, it's like, okay, maybe they don't want to spend the money to have these parents around or something, but, like, you should at least see them from time to time. So that also bothered me, like, what,
Yeah.
they live alone? Who's paying for all this stuff?
But, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, for most of the characters, I get it. They're teenagers, they're going to get out, they're going to go out, no matter what.
Yeah, but you know what?
And their characters and their family situations make that really plausible. But Emma and Noah are two of them that I don't see that working. Unless Noah's parents, or maybe a single parent, is just sort of not there, and that's why he's gone into the computer world. But you never get any. There's no backstory.
No, but even if it's a single parent situation, the whole town would know, okay, this stuff is going on, right? Mm-hmm. So if I was his mom or whoever, I'd be like, you know what, you're just coming with me to work. I don't care.
Yeah, but like for him, like maybe she is one of the, because you don't know. She could be one of those person who's just like always drinking, always kind of thing, and that's why he's such a good kid, because she's such a bad parent. Like it's that opposite. It could be, but we don't know anything about it. So whatever. You can make up whatever story you want. You know, you could have mom and dad, and they could be, the head of a church, for all we know. Right?
I don't know, the whole
But
thing
Emma's mom is there.
Yeah.
Emma has been to a psychiatric ward. There is introduction that she may have mental problems. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's one. So you would keep a pretty close watch on your kid, right? Like her mom's a loving mother who wants the best for her daughter.
But she is working, but you would think at the same time maybe she could hire somebody who's there.
But the whole thing is she she only needs to work when there's a dead body.
Well, there's lots of them,
right.
So.
but that's the thing, right? Like, and they took her off the case at one point, right? So it's not like she needed to be there. It's clear that there's obviously other people who can do the job. If she doesn't need to be there, then somebody else is doing it. So, Emma could be mentally unstable. You're going to be watching after. Emma could be in trouble because somebody's trying to kill her. So you would keep a close eye on her. Or Emma may be the killer. For whatever reason, you might want to keep a close eye on her because you're in the house with her. You may be the next victim, whether you want to believe it or not. And, you want to make sure that she isn't the killer. Because you want to prove your kid's innocent. Right? You either think she's the killer, in which case you're in trouble, or you don't think she's the killer and you want to prove her innocent. Either way, every situation means you want to be watching your kid, like, closely. And yet, she only shows up to go, "It's not my daughter. What happened to my daughter?"
At least you see her.
Yeah, true. Honestly, I don't think we would if it wasn't for the backstory of, the Brendan James and stuff like that. They probably wouldn't show her either. But, yeah, it's clearly very much around the kids. Very, very much around the kids. And...
Well, you know what I'm thinking? Maybe that's because the movies were also about that. You didn't see so much of parents either.
No, but they were in college.
Not initially. Then they went off to college. The first one wasn't on college.
Well, first one just showed like that, but that's the thing, right? Like,
no, I'm saying maybe it's the same kind of thing.
I don't know, but yeah. Thoughts on second season?
Do yours.
Yeah. I didn't like it nearly as much as for season 1. I won't lie there. I was hoping for, better kills. A lot of the stuff that they reveal through the season, as for the reasons for some of the stuff that's going on, made me really question motives of people and didn't seem realistic. And I could get into specifics, but that would give away too much. And that kind of bugged me. When you hear somebody's reasons for doing something, you're like, that's not a good reason. Like, you're just stupid. And that sucked because so many of the characters I really liked in season 1, there are moments in season 2 where I'm like, I don't even care if you die now, because you know what? I don't care about you much anymore.
I like people better.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, other than Brooke, but
no, even Noah, I liked him better.
Well, see, I liked Noah in the first season, though. I always liked Noah.
I thought he was a little bit stupid in some of his choices.
But this season, I wouldn't have no problem knocking Emma off if she wasn't the main character. Audrey, I could have seen her going.
No,
because I liked Audrey in the first season. I even liked Emma in the first season. In the second season, I didn't really like either of them.
You're weird.
I didn't. Yeah.
Your expectations were way too high for a second season, I think.
My expectations are always high. They should be.
Mine were not that high. And as a result, I think I had more enjoyment out of it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because in the beginning, I was just like, And then later on, I was just like, when it would end, I was like, no!
I guess. I don't know. I didn't really have that draw with this second season. The first season, I wanted to watch it through. Like, I wanted to see it to the end. It was interesting. It was really entertaining. This one, it was like, I watched it and I wanted to watch it, but I didn't feel that draw, that need to watch the next episode. Not like you did several times. I never really had that. It was like, take it or leave it.
Your expectations were too high. That's it.
We had the same expectations.
No. Because this is a sequel, and I never think they're going to be as good.
Well, I know better. I know there are better sequels.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with it. It's just, are you a good writer? Can you pull it off? Can you do it well? It's a television series. You're expected to do 10 seasons. If you can't do it, don't make your television series.
You're being too picky.
You're supposed to be. That's the whole point. But,
I was okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know. And honestly, I expected, especially, come last episode, when everything's supposed to come rolling around, and you have that big reveal and such like that. Which I liken to the movies as well, because the reveals in the sequels kind of sucked at the end.
You should have expected that.
But, you could go with, like, if you look at the Saw franchise, when you get to the reveals at the end for most of those, I'm like, wow, this actually ties, like, this movie together, and this movie together, and this movie together. That's crazy.
I don't know, 'cause I haven't watched those. So.
Whereas this one, it was just like, that's how you're, what? That's how you're, oh, okay, whatever. I guess that works. I didn't seem amazed by how they tied all the characters together and what they were doing and the reasons for it.
No, I think that it would have been much better if it had been kind of hinted in early on. I would have liked that better.
Well, but that's the thing, right? That's what I'm saying. It was...
It was not.
But it wasn't... Because that's the whole thing, right? They're trying to draw you away from who the killer is, so you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they were trying to do here, and I don't know. I just didn't like the reveal at the end in the last episode. I don't know. I guess it makes some sense.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great. But it was okay. I've seen worse stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still enjoyed the season.
Yeah.
And I would look forward to a season 3 because there is a cliffhanger.
Yes, but I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I can do it again because this is the thing. Like, you're already disappointed kind of with season 2. Whereas I was kind of like, well, it's okay, whatever, right? So, to go for the season 3, I don't know. I think it's been played out already. I don't know how much more you can play that out. I don't know.
I'm cool with it. Just give me people with better kills, man.
I'm not. I don't know. And you know what I remember? Even with the beginning of season 2, like, did we not like watch 1 or whatever, and then we like watch something else, and we didn't like continue right away?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So we weren't like that into it, where it was like, oh, we have to watch the next.
No, but
one.
you were later on.
Later on, yeah.
You were invested at the point. You wanted to see things, but yeah, it took a bit for her to get into it. Definitely not right off the bat.
No.
But
so season 3. Oh, you know what also ticked me off? Because this was the one where Netflix, because normally you think Netflix, they're going to have it all at once.
Well, that was one of the reasons why.
Yes, that's it too.
That was it.
It was set release dates.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
so you couldn't just binge watch the entire season in one day unless you waited.
I think 2 were available.
When we started, there were 2 available.
But I don't know that we watched the 2 right away.
I don't know,
But that really, really pissed me off.
No, it was just the first one.
Really?
We watched the first episode, and that's when we found out because we went.
Yeah.
Where's the next episode?
One? Yeah.
And we were like, oh, there must be a mistake on the Netflix. But then we read it, and we were like, oh my god, we're gonna have to wait. This is just like watching regular television.
Exactly. So Netflix, that's garbage. Don't do it. I don't like that. What is the point of watching the Netflix if you have to wait?
No. The whole point of Netflix is to binge watch an entire series in one day.
So mad. It was a week between.
It was every week.
Single episode, and then you get busy doing other things, and then by the time we watched it the next time, then there was like more than a few built up. So then we just like watched the one and not like a whole bunch. But don't do that. Like seriously, that really pissed me off.
Yeah, because we actually had we had to stop twice. So we had the first one. It wasn't there, and then eventually there was a bunch because we watched something else.
Yeah.
And then there was a bunch built up so we could watch it, but then it still wasn't all there.
No.
So then we had to wait again, and then eventually when we got back to it, all of them were there, and we could just watch it regularly. But yeah, it is not. Honestly, I don't watch regular television because of that.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I think Netflix as a choice for programming works for most people because they don't have to wait.
Yeah, you can watch as many as you want, and then when you want to continue again, it's there.
Exactly. So when you do this, you take away the potential of, being able to do that. And for a lot of people, that's why they subscribe to Netflix. Pull that away, what's the point, really?
No.
Honestly, if they did that for season 3, I would probably we would wait until it was all there anyways. But because it's actually played, I don't know. Well, maybe see this is old because I think this is an FX series, or I don't know. It's not a Netflix in the United States. It's only Netflix Canada as far as I know. It's on an actual network in the States. So it may be that they were playing it at the same time.
Maybe.
Right? That may be the reason for it. And if that's the case, I kind of get it. But at the same time, I'm not subscribing to Netflix because of that. I can't get the station in the States anyways, unless I'm pirating it. And if that's what you're worried about, why? The fact of the matter is these things are all on the internet before they ever air anyways these days. So
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I find it much better when you can just go and watch however. Like, could you imagine making a murderer? Like, when we were into it, if we had to wait then for the next week?
Well,
like,
even for anything, especially for something like this, where you're like, oh my god, and any show that leaves on a cliffhanger, right?
And we sound kind of spoiled, because yes, I get this is how TV is and was, you know. Yes, we have seen regular TV. We've been around a while, okay?
Yeah.
We know how TV was. We watched how TV was. But at this point, you know, this is what...
Well, yeah, like I said, it's the reason why you watch on Netflix.
Yeah.
Right? I stopped watching most stuff on television and, and would buy it.
Yeah.
I would buy it on DVD or Blu-ray, and that's how I would watch it. You know? But even with regular television, like my mom, she doesn't have Netflix, she doesn't have Show Me, she doesn't have any of these streaming services. She PVRs it, and a lot of people, that's what they do. They set their PVR, and like my mom will do, she
has so many
like
shows.
10, 20 shows that she's PVRing, right? Like everything that comes out, if she reads and goes, huh, that might be interesting, programs it into the PVR, right? So yes, every day she'll watch her daily shows, which will be something like, her Jeopardies and the things like The Voice, where you kind of want to watch it when it happens, because it's something you talk with your friends about because it just happened, and if you leave it too late, then it's gone, right? Whereas something like a Criminal Minds or a Game of Thrones or something like that, a few of those episodes will have built up, and then she'll watch it. Maybe not one after the other, but one today, one tomorrow, 2 the day after, that type of thing. And if she really gets into it, she might binge watch a whole slew of them in a row. But it's still the same type of thing, where if she had a Netflix or a Show Me, I think that's how she would actually bring it in, right? Yes, she would still watch the television, she'd still be watching The Voice or whatever and talking live, with her friends and stuff, because that's what she does. Her friends call over and say, "Did you see that on the television?" "Yes, I just saw that on the television." Then they talk about it. Instead of getting together and watching it with each other.
Person,
That's what she does. So I don't know. I think she would definitely binge watch rather than, watching them, just simply because that's what the PVR is kind of turned into. Indirectly.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't intentional, but through her viewing habits, that's kind of what it turned into. So it's almost like that is the natural way people want to watch television programs. As odd as it sounds, and it's really, really weird, people like movies. Here it is, here's the story, front to end. Done. Right? People like television shows because you get that, but you get more of it. So it's like watching a really, really long movie, so there's a lot more development and all that kind of stuff. But yet, they still like to watch it almost like a movie. The difference being is most people don't have that much time to devote to something to be able to binge watch through an entire day.
Yeah, like on a weekend or something, but even after that, you might take a break halfway
You'll take a break, but it's cut up into, segments, so you can do that. You can take a break, right? You can't really do that with a movie. And I've watched some 6 and 8 hour long movies. You want those breaks. You really do.
Don't make me watch that.
But yeah,
we're totally off topic.
We are off topic. Yeah, but it is a good point, because Scream was played out that way.
Yeah.
And honestly, don't do it for season 3. I would rather you put it out after it's aired in the States, so that I can sit there. Because you know what? When it comes on, we look at it and go, if it's a show we want to watch, oh, it's great. We'll stop what program we're in unless we're really into it, and be like, all right, we're going to start this one now. And if we find out it's going to be like that,
no.
Honestly, if it's Scream, we'll probably still watch it. But still, we'll wait until it's done.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then we'll watch it.
And then we'll complain.
And then we'll complain like we're doing right now.
You mostly. No.
Me mostly.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, it did mess up what our schedule was. We were kind of we're going to watch this,
Yes,
then we're going to watch
that's
this,
true.
then we're going to watch this. It messed it all up because we started and we are like, oh, all right, well then I guess we're going to watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, go back to Scream.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess we're going to watch this type thing. And it really messed everything up. It sucks because you have to try and remember. Like, this is one of the problems we found. We couldn't remember which episodes we had watched.
Yes.
You know, so we would scroll through it and we'd read it and we'd be like, that kind of sounds like something we saw. I don't know. But one of the cool things that I liked, I didn't notice if it was in season 1. All the episode names of season 2
Oh, that was cool.
are the names of horror movies.
I didn't notice that the first time either. That was
let's
good.
see if we... Actually, it is.
I'm plugged in. Wait.
So,
You want to go to the season 1 and
season
check?
1, yeah.
Okay.
Oops. Oh. Can you go to season 1?
Yes, actually.
Alright. So, yeah, and that was so cool. No, not really.
No.
No. So, if they are the names of horror movies, I mean, they could be the names of horror movies, but they're not big horror movies.
No.
Like Pilot. I think that's just because it's
I think
Pilot.
like the second one, Hello Emma, was like where the guy first calls, right? And then the next one, want to play a game. Okay,
yeah,
that's
I get that, and then
But
the rest
then,
of them just
no.
sort of
doesn't
don't
work.
really go with that
No.
whole thing.
They-
But season 2, they were all
yeah,
movie names,
that was cool.
which was cool. And you know what? At first, it took
And
me a
it made
second to
sense,
notice
too.
that it was. It wasn't until I was like, "That's the name of a movie."
Yeah. Oh,
And I was
this
like,
is also the name of a movie.
Wait a minute, these are all the names of movies. Because when you look at it, go right up to 1, right?
Yeah.
So-
well, that totally makes sense too.
You know,
Yeah.
the first one called "I Know What You Did Last Summer," right? But I thought that was just a play on, "I know what you did last summer," and what that's the whole point. The killings were last summer. I got that. I was like, okay. The next one's Psycho. Yes, a movie. Yes, a huge movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't really put the two together. Because the third one was Vacancy. Yes, it's a movie, but it doesn't jump out at you as being a movie. It wasn't until the next one, which still shouldn't, for a lot of people, Happy Birthday to Me. It involved a birthday, so it made sense. But that's where I noticed, I was like, okay, these are
That's
all...
where you
That's where I noticed
Seriously?
it. And the next one is usually where most people will notice it because that's Dawn of the Dead. There
I don't
really was no reason to call it Dawn of the Dead.
No.
Because when I think of Dawn of the Dead, I think of zombies.
Yeah.
There's no zombies in this show. And then the next one definitely is Jeepers Creepers. I mean, did they even play the song?
No.
No. Like, had they played the song in the show, then I'd be like, alright, Jeepers Creepers, whatever. Then you get to Let the Right One In, Village of the Damned, The Orphanage,
That made a lot of sense.
right?
That was good.
The Vanishing, Heavenly Creatures, and then When a Stranger Calls, to finish it all off. And I thought, some of them I didn't think quite went with the episode as
but
well
some
as they
of them-
should
no,
have.
but some of them-
Whereas other ones really went
Yeah.
with the episode, like it made sense. So I would kind of, if there's a season 3, I kind of want to. I would like to see that again.
If it made sense.
If it,
tied
but
into
I
the
want it. I
episode,
want it to
yeah.
tie into the actual episode a lot more. And I would like them to be a little bit more obscure. They don't need to, be big ones. Like, you don't need to see Jaws and Gremlins and stuff like that, right? Like, I don't need to see that kind of stuff. But, something a little bit bad taste.
Yeah, but you watch so many weird things, they're not gonna put things out to what you would watch. Right?
I know.
Because nobody else would know. They'd be
I
like, what the
know.
heck? What is this? I'd be looking and be like, what the heck is this? And you'd be like, oh, that's that movie. I'd be like, oh, okay. I don't know.
But they put Let the Right One In.
I've heard of that.
But that's the original foreign film.
It's 4? I didn't
It
say
was
I
remade.
watched
I'm thinking, right? Like, wasn't the one in here called Let Me In, or?
I don't know. I've heard of that.
I can't remember now. I can't remember which one's which. And Happy Birthday to Me, that's from like what, the 70s?
Oh, that's old.
That's
yeah,
old.
yeah.
When the Stranger Calls is kind of
Oh,
older.
that's totally
The Vanishing has been done a few times, so it could be either one. Most
Heavenly
people probably-
Creatures, I think, is the one that I don't really know. I've heard maybe, but I don't really know what it is.
Well, you probably recognize it.
Like, to me, it sounds like a comedy or something. I know it's not.
But yeah, if they...
No.
Whoa,
What are you typing in on?
I don't know.
It almost looks like Drew Barrymore. Is that... Who is that? Who is it? Oh. Wow. Yeah, I don't know that I've seen that.
So,
No.
yeah, I could see it, you know. Could have some ginger snaps in there. Why not, you know? Maybe they can go with like a foreign films, more foreign films.
But then that's going to be very vague for people.
Yeah, but that, like this kind of stuff, you don't need to be. It could be for the more diehards, right? Doesn't necessarily be for the casuals. They're watching it because it's Scream.
That's why
Right?
I'm watching it.
Yeah, so these little tidbits are, you know, like they're all, you know, they're for Noah.
You want
they're
too
for
much.
Noah.
Okay.
They're for Noah. Noah is a horror geek, man. He
Yes.
loves his horror movies. These are for Noah. Anyways, we're off. We're talking about
gone crazy.
Yeah, this is long. My battery's almost running out here. So, yeah. Let us know what you thought. Did you watch Scream Season 2? Comment down below. Yeah, what did you think of the format of how it was released? Well, I guess in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
In the States,
We
you
don't
would have
know.
been, I guess, on regular cable.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Comment down below. Love to hear from you because, yeah, everybody's got thoughts on stuff like this.
And he will reply,
I will.
and I will read it, and then I'll complain to him.
Yeah, it's true. Though she may reply too. She can,
If I get mad enough.
you can direct comments to her as well. She reads them.
Oh.
You do.
Yes, I read them. Of course I read
Yeah,
them.
well.
What?
So just remember, no spoilers. Don't want to give away part of the fun when it comes to these things because you know what? Don't give away the killers or the not killers.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, don't give them away. Try as hard as you can to not give away any of the spoilers, because that really does kind of ruin a show like this.
I did well.
So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Till next video. Take care.
Have a good one.